Gina Carano is finally suing. With the help of Elon Musk, she is bringing a claim against the Walt Disney Company, Lucasfilm, and its subsidiary for her role as Cara Dune, Rebel Ranger, and the termination that followed based on her political beliefs, based on her social media posts. In this video, we get into the specific factual claims, the legal elements of the claims, just those legal elements, so you understand the legal basis. All right, now we get to the claims. Here we go. So this is the meat and potatoes. This is real legal analysis of the actual claims of what they're bringing. So when I look at these, I'm going to look at, do they apply to this instant case? So here's the law. The first claim is wrongful discharge. That's sort of like a wrongful termination. It's under the California Labor Code. So this is state law. It's above and beyond federal law. So this requires that no employer shall make, adopt, or enforce a rule, regulation, or policy forbidding or preventing employees from engaging or participating in politics. So engaging or participating, or controlling, directing, or tending to control the political activities or affiliations of employees. Speech, political speech, is a political activity. They terminated her based on her posts, which were political in nature, which was trying to forbid her from engaging in politics, therefore controlling her. And it goes on to say, no employers shall coerce, influence, or by any means threaten of discharge or loss of employment to adopt, follow, or restrain from adopting any particular course or line of political action or activity. God, they're dead to rights on this. They're dead to rights on this. This is this fits neatly with this statute. And mind you, I'm not all for California law, but they fit this California law. And mind you, this California law was probably originally intended to protect crazy leftists from companies firing them, but now it's being used the other way. And here's how we see the full circle come. The full circle comes when people are saying, wait, when you enact a law like this, it applies both ways. And we've got it here. They clearly coerced her. So just alone, the behavior in trying to control her expression is enough to violate it. Similarly, if plaintiff had been instructed to curtail her gay-oriented political activities outside of the office, this would be a violation. This is 100% a slam dunk. The termination of her employment and refusal regarding expressions of views departing from liberal perspectives on BLM, corona, transgender, and political polarization would not be tolerated. It's not okay. They were done with knowledge of the officers. That means Kathy Kennedy. That means Kathy Kennedy. Also, you have that private right of action. Now you can civilly sue. That's what she's doing right now to get these damages. They damaged her. She lost these roles. She suffered emotional distress, I'm sure. Clear slam dunk here. All right, number one, wrongful discharge, slam. Next one, wrongful discharge and refusal to hire. Before we get that, though, I'll get the 20 here from Aaron Pipes. Pipe it, Aaron. Says, is there any chance of punitive damages in the amount of the average cost of a Lucasfilm Disney production? $300 million can be awarded or even more. Can Disney corporate make Iger Kennedy personally pay? Okay, the last part I'll answer right now. No, they're not going to get them to personally pay unless they found that it was outside the scope of the duties, but it's not going to happen. They're not going to make them personally pay. I'm not going to, once again, this is not legal. This is not another channel that's going to misrepresent the law, right? I'm going to tell you straight up, there's no way that Kennedy, Iger, or Chapek comes out of pocket. Well, Chapek is a little different now, but there's no way that Kennedy and Iger comes out of pocket. Chapek's a little bit different, but it's highly likely Disney would pay for Chapek because he was the CEO at the time. So That's that. Now, about the damages, let's address that when we get the damages. So what I'm going to do, Aaron, is I'm going to save this and I'm going to come back to it a little bit later when we get to that question. So I'll come back to it later, just so you know. So, but good question. Very good question, actually. A person shall not discharge an employee or any manner discriminate, retaliate, or take adverse action. Once again, Disney's projection. They're the ones who discriminate and retaliate because they engage in conduct or because they exercise by the employee on behalf of himself the rights afforded to him. Anyone who's discharged, right, is entitled to reinstatement and reimbursement of lost wages. Guys, here's the key, and we're going to get to this. She's entitled to be reinstated in her role under California law. She's entitled to be put back in the films and in the series. That is California law. That is California law. We may disagree with California law, but that is California law. So what do we get here? Third one. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Let me read this too before we get to the third one. Because they terminated her and refused to hire her for other roles, and they intended to cause, they had malice. It was despicable conduct. It was willful and conscious disregard. And this amounted to despicable conduct that subjected her to cruel and unjust hardship. That's a key word here. Cruel and unjust hardship is a key word for the triggering of punitive damages. Whenever you see that, that is language that is associated with punitive damages, cruel and unjust. In conscious disregard, also associated, thus supporting punitive damages. So, your question, Aaron, yes, punitive damages. Yes, 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 yes. Now, the amount is still up in the air, but could it be in the amount of future films? Absolutely. Punitive damages are on the table. On the table here. That opens this up wide. Also, Nick Cruiser, Riser, one of my OGs who's been here for a while, dropping a hard 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much, Nick, and saying right here, welcome, new cultists. Yes, welcome, new BLM cultists. Guys, this is the only BLM that you are forced to join because you receive a membership. So welcome. Appreciate that. Hope you enjoy being forced in to the cult of the legal mindset. We only demand worship, extreme worship of your dear leader. As you see, of course, my audio icon here, for those that don't know, my Kim Jong mindset. This is of course my cult leader personality, right? We do the Juche philosophy for all legal practices. This is a close to record. Amber Heard was a record we pushed into the 2000s, but we're close, guys. And as this picks up, I plan to welcome more and more of you to the chat. But for this month, for the last couple months, this is a damn right. This is a record. So thank you so much, guys. Make sure you smash the like button. We're almost at 1,600 likes. So just smash that like button if you're there. Also on Rumble, we've got 655 people watching. Shout out to all those base chads over there on Rumble. I love you guys over there. You guys can say what you want there, do what you want. Appreciate all you over there. Make sure you're hitting that pussy over there on Rumble. So we've got 2,500 based on both platforms. All right, sex discrimination. So now we're getting into the fact, and once again, I'm probably going to have to make another video or clip this. This cause of action is why Gina Carano's lawsuit is woke. That's right. Gina Carano's lawsuit is woke, but it's woke using woke's own weapon against them, which I 100% endorse, right? She's using the weapons that they use against them. It is high time where we use their own ridiculous laws, their clown world laws that have always been hypocritical against them. It is high time that they see the things that they are enacting are hypocritical. They're not evenly applied. That's why I am glad she's suing for sex discrimination. Live by the sword, die by the sword. That's exactly right, Grant. For an employer, because of race, creed, color, national origin, ancestry, physical disability, mental disability, reproductive health decision, mental, sex, gender identity, expression, age, orientation, veteran, military service, to refuse to hire, employ, select, train, discharge, or discriminate in compensation is not permitted. They treated her different than men. That's the fact you need to look at very clearly. She was counseled, harassed, and forced to attend meetings with people who fired her. She was terminated because of her beliefs while her male colleagues were not. She was defamed when they publicly mischaracterized her social media posts. They refused to hire her for other promising roles. She was treated differently than male coworkers because of her sex. She suffered compensatory damages. They had knowledge. This was willful, so there's punitive damages. Here's the prayer for relief. All right, here we go, guys. Number one, preliminary and permanent injunctive relief. This is a form of equitable relief. That doesn't mean woke equity. That means equitable remedies. Injunctions are what's called an equitable remedy. It's non-monetary. So look at this. They require Disney and Lucasfilm to reinstate Carano with no pay or loss of benefits. This, ladies and gentlemen, would require her to be back in all Star Wars set in that setting. This is absolutely 100% possible. This alone can stall Star Wars for years. The longer this lawsuit goes on, the more Star Wars will have to seriously consider whether they're going to be forced to put Carano back in a role under California law. The judgment declaring that defendant's termination of Carano's appointment was unlawful in violation of California law. So they want to make a judgment that it was wrong. Compensatory damages, including but not limited to loss of pay to the date of reinstatement and loss of future employment. Guys, in the chat, the people who send the super chats, this is the damage for future films, including Rangers of the New Republic, the feature film, and an amount to be determined at trial. They don't have to prove that yet. All they have to do is allege it. They don't have to prove it yet. Emotional distress, allowed in California. She can collect that. Punitive damages. Attorney's fees, paying Elon's attorneys. I love it. She demands a trial by jury and any other relief. This is standard language filed by Falk and Schreier of the law firm. Doesn't include the exhibits. I'm going to try to get the exhibits for you guys, but that is the complaint. And with that, I think it's time I played that video again.
A few moments later.